on the dot. We have everyone here. This might be the second meeting in a row that that's happened. So, all right, so call it at 6. Attendance roll call.
Carolyn Horde.
Here.
Dwight Washington.
Here.
Mark Sinzak, present. Adam Montry.
Present.
Leslie Hayden.
Present.
Trustee Silliman.
Present.
Come on in. The water is fine. All right. Get a motion. Well, are there any amendments to the agenda? Nope. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Can I get a second? Support. All right, and support. Yeah. Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so approval of the agenda as submitted. Approval of the minutes from October 2024 that Mark sent out this afternoon. Motion to approve the amendments as submitted. All right, a second. All right, all in favor? All right, any opposed? No. All right. Any disclosure of conflicts of interest? Oh, if you come up here, you're gonna have to take this empty seat. Disclosure of conflicts of interest? None. All right. Public comment limited to 3 minutes related to items germane to the agenda. If you haven't picked up an agenda, they're on the podium, I believe. We have a handful of people in the public. If you hide behind over there, remember last time you had to get up here. So,
Hi, Judy Gardy, Friends of Park Lake. I see on the agenda we have the Bath Summer Festival. Just would like to say that Friends of Park Lake is very supportive of that. We'd love to partner with you. Just give us a call, let us know if you start the planning process. We'll be happy to come to the table and talk with you about that. I don't see this on here, but if I might just make one request, Friends of Park Lake has also noted that it would be very helpful to have poop stations in the parks like Wishmaster Park. A lot of people walk their dog there, and it would be great to have a station with bags, so that people could pick up their dog's remains. Thank you very much.
thank you.
I'll go to for just a second. Meg Ritchie, Outer Drive. Along with Judy, I'm hoping, I watched the video of the Board of Trustees meeting, and I was very happy to see that it passed, and that you are going to go ahead with the new version of baptized. Congratulations. I, along with Judy, representing Friends of Park Lake, would also like to, as our president, just offered to coordinate, collaborate, however you'd like to look at it. But we are also 501c3. So if you run into some backlash or stubbornness with the old Baptist committee, that might be helpful to you. So I have to say congratulations. Is our new park coordinator here? I missed introductions. Okay. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
November 25th.
Other public comment? Later on, you can say anything that you want. This was just the agenda part. Even if you want to say ice cream again or whatever. All right. Thank you, public comment. Old business. So the Upton Road Park site. Beth had mentioned that she thinks that there is a survey on hand from back in the day when they did that drawing, but I have not, or when the Parks and Rec Committee at that point did the sketch that you found. She thought that there was a survey. I haven't followed up with her on it, but wondering if someone...
One thing I can add to that is I talked to Karen about, I got a well driller to come examine a well.
Yes.
And Karen said it has to be with DPW, and I said, fine, whatever, let me know. We're free Friday, Saturday and Sunday, end of conversation, and not another word.
All right.
So, I'm sorry.
I can add to both of those. I followed up with Beth today, because I was under the impression that we didn't have a survey.
Me too,
originally.
yeah.
So I sent another email just to have her confirm. I may have been confusing that information with the Park Lake Trail survey stuff that was going on at the same time. So I just wanted to double check with her and see if she could pull a survey on it if we did have it. And then I did get a message forwarded from Karen, your message about the well. I did not get any information back from her. I thought this was that wasn't funded yet. So I haven't.
This was free. This was a free,
Okay.
well-known.
So I tried to get a little more information. I didn't get that. I know Joe Dyer.
Yeah.
So if that's something that the township board wants to do.
Well, if it's free, why not? It's a block away.
Okay, so I think that we'll see what Beth has to say for the survey, which I was under the same impression. I didn't know that there was one, and I don't think the board knew that there was one. I think so if there is one, awesome. We'll find it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I can try to get some more information on the well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and can coordinate, and the same thing is.
Just call it,
I don't have Joe's number too.
Cool. All right. So I think that's where we're at with that first, before we go on to do anything with like, what does the proposal look like? What do we want done there? I think it's the making sure the survey is there and then figuring out the well. So those seem like the two things. Cool. Easy enough. All right. Moving on to recreation coordinator hire. So James Sutton was hired. He begins November 25th, which is Monday, correct? Yes. So he starts on Monday. He has originally from the Lansing area, has a lot of experience with boys and girls clubs. So started as with one of them, and then ended up monitoring programming at like multiple boys and girls clubs in the greater Grand Rapids region. So lots of experience with programming in terms of the youth programs there, tutoring programs for youth that were involved there, senior, they didn't have a senior center, but similar to what our senior center would be within the Boys and Girls Club. So lots of experience there. We had 3 good candidates that were interviewed. I think they all would have done a good job. At the end of the day, it mostly came down to saying that, like, this is a recreation coordinator position. This is the person with the most recreation programming experience, and that was sort of the impetus for that decision. So, yeah, so we're looking forward to having him on board, and starting Monday. So, and there'll be similar things, onboarding, HR, computer setup, all that kind of stuff to start. So, but I think he's going to be a good fit. And then we have an offer also. So I play soccer with I think we've talked about this, with the Lansing cabinet position for Parks and Rec, and then the DARA rep coordinator also. And I let them both know last night that they were asking, they saw it posted. They were asking, and I let them know, and they said that they are happy to help them start making some connections to like their statewide. There's a Southern Michigan, and then there's a statewide professional association. One of them's the president right now. That's at DARA, and he said they both said like connect them into like professional organization for conferences, for support network, for those types of things. So, and then we talked a little bit about partner, kind of bigger picture partnering and programming. As our programs grow, but maybe we don't have facilities, being able to maybe start doing something with DARA and that as well. So.
Wondering about the scope of his job, and one of the things I remember from growing up in the area is being part of the DeWitt Bath recreational activities, and we would play against each other, and it's like all through the fall and the summer. It's just really good memories and got me familiar with the area. And Bath has really been within Bath, as I understand it. So I'm kind of like wondering, is there an opportunity for them, James, to make these connections too?
Yeah, so actually we're already playing against all other communities, excuse me. So both the flag football and the basketball league,
we participate with the Meridian Township Recreation, so they're playing against Meridian Township teams. I believe there's
Hazlet?
yeah,
I think,
Hazlet.
right, yeah.
And then I think sometimes there's like a Lanesburg team. So we're already playing with different communities in those leagues. Really the only one that stays within Bath is soccer and then the baseball leagues. But of course, we're open to expanding those.
I'm glad to hear that both soccer and I think softball and baseball were kind of my sports too that were kind of that. So it's interesting.
I think it's good to be clear that like, so though, like, as soon as they get into the club, so like the Bath Soccer Club or the baseball club and that, then they're playing other, or like Red Cedar basketball, that for the younger,
Which is outside of the
programming.
township programming.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
But,
So, the other thing that was mentioned last night when we were talking, with the Lansing and Dara is that, adult basketball came up and that they have a league and that they used to, one of them grew up around here and he was saying that they have, like, he grew up playing with, like, adult basketball with other communities, similar to what Dwight was saying. And so he said that could be a pretty, so we have demand here, and sometimes game time's hard to find, and sometimes school person to be there, sometimes just the coordination. And he said that that's something that could be an easy plug-in now. And then he also mentioned that I didn't know this, that they do a trip to Mackinac Island every year with a big senior center or senior group. That I don't know if it's Dara or if it's a bigger. I think Dara would.
East Lansing Prime Time.
I don't know. He's at Dara, but he helped whatever it is, and he was saying that that's something that. At one time they were taking a bus, and then people said that they'd rather drive themselves, so they've sort of, I think, gone back and forth between that, depending on the year and sign up, but that would also be something that seniors from the senior center would be able to plug into a program that already exists and that is established as well. So I think there'll be some good opportunities with surrounding areas.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What role will James take with the Senior Citizen Center?
So this position handles the programming for the senior center. So a lot of the activities that they have going on there, like currently we have, like the library comes in once a month to do book recommendations, and then they started recently doing a coloring activity. We have a craft once a month, a movie that's shown once a month. And then the goal for this position would be to bring in more educational opportunities as well. One thing that we try to do on a semi-regular basis is having one of our police officers come over and talk about confiscating that's happening for senior citizens, so things similar to that.
And he has some experience with doing programming like nutrition education as well for at senior, with seniors, so, yeah.
Is he also going to be doing the farmer's market and stuff as well?
Yeah. Farmers Market, Senior Center.
Okay.
We always this is a standing agenda item, any Park Lake Trail updates, and we always have if there's any changes or at all.
Not at this time, it hasn't been brought back up at the board level.
Any budget updates? That was just a standing one too that we said we would leave on, so.
Yeah, so the public hearing for the budget was supposed to happen this last meeting. We ran into an issue with some of our math that we did on our memo. Karen and I both checked that, and I don't know what happened. So unfortunately with that, we did have to end up moving that to this next meeting, December 2nd. So the public hearing will take place that night, and hopefully adoption as well.
So the cat's already out of the bag, but the board did vote this week to approve the Bath Summer Festival as a program of the township. So that is great news.
Agreeing to
Yes.
accept things as they come along. It was a very difficult agreement.
I thought it was pretty easy.
It was
like
down there planning.
that was it. Yeah. So we had I think it was just a conversation. And what the ask was not any specific monies. Like, although we said this might be a number that we have no intention of like saying this is going to be it, or intending the structure of this can be long-term. So I'd say that is like the skeletal framework that was agreed upon by the board, that it would become a project or program. We'll determine exactly how we talk about that within the township, with the intention of that being that it being housed here isn't person dependent, right? It's a long-term, stable governmental organization that's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so, if someone, I was talking to someone last night, and I likened it to sort of the PTA, like, right, if your kids are young, you're in the elementary school PTA, and if your kids get out of school, you sort of move to the middle school PTA, and so, without it being housed with a person or an entity that's not governmental, that seems a little more tenuous, especially based on how it's been the last 4 years or 5 years. So the agreement is that it is housed within the township, and that we will be sort of the, I don't want to say stewards of it, but that this committee will be sort of the stewards responsible for guiding it, along with some great volunteers in the community who are interested. The intention is, I guess, that's sort of the status. Maybe we'll stop there and then say new business is sort of next steps, intentions behind it. So any questions about the sort of the framing of it, like what the ask was from to the board, what the board and the trustees approved at all? Include all your volunteer hours that you're going to put in. I volunteer people all. All right, so new business. So next steps for Bath Summer Festival. At some point there will be a naming something. But next steps are going to be basically starting to bring together. So we have the Hortas and Sandra McIntosh as well, who are initial kind of drivers behind this. I'm there as a board representative, a member of this committee representative. That the intention then is to get together and say, like, all right, what do we want to do? How are we want to build this out? Is it going, like, what events, there'll be like the nuts and bolts parts of what events and activities do we want. Fortunately, we have like Friends of Park Lake who volunteer. We're thinking about car show, library, those types of partnerships where there will be activities that the township isn't necessarily having to handle or run, but that will be part of the event. And then we'll have to sit down and think about, like, what does sponsorship programs look like? What are the standard operating procedures behind those asks or those sponsorship practice or packets? What does this level get you? What does this level get you? What type of committees do we need? Whether that's like an insurance and finance committee, whether that's those types of things. We have to sit down and think through. So we will begin that process. Anyone is welcome to volunteer, although we just acknowledge we are all on this committee, and it's a program of the township. We just have to be thoughtful about Open Meetings Act, and if there's more than a quorum of us there. So we obviously are going to need more meetings than the 10 or so we have currently. So the intention for 2025 would be the first weekend in August, which is the sort of standard time that it's happened. I think it's the first, second, third.
Yeah, it's like the first, second, third, or second, third,
Friday,
or
Saturday.
something.
Yeah, it's right in that very beginning. So that's the intended time frame. There's no other festivals going on at that time around here, no other activities. And so now that we've got the approval, then we get to do the fun work of standing it up, which is exciting. So, any questions around that sort of next steps?
Do you guys have like set days where you're going to be meeting to talk about it and things?
Not yet. So yeah, it just got approved Monday. Yeah. So just 2 days ago. Yeah. So, but once we do, definitely let people know. And I thought, do we want to do like a 4-on-4 soccer tournament? Do we want to do like a basketball tournament at the elementary, middle school? Like there's all kinds of. So I feel like those especially these early meetings, I feel like it's let's put everything out there and then figure out what we can, depending on the number of people, depending on what it's going to cost, those types of things.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to bring up a discussion. That's probably like the most significant thing that's happened in Bath in 200 years is the bombing, and that's coming up on its memorial very soon. I'm curious, when I think about festivals that like really sustain themselves, they take advantage of like what's part of the culture, what's part of the community. And so I wondered if there was any discussion about linking these two together with this Bath festival, and just kind of like random ideas that just popped in my head. It's like I was at Gettysburg and have like, ghosts and people who are in civil wars kind of like walking around. There's this whole cultural event that's associated with that. It seems like this could be an opportunity. Again, it makes me wonder, is there an opportunity or is there any discussion on that yet?
That's definitely a discussion that we would have to have with the museum committee. Obviously, since this tragedy did involve children, then we try to be very careful about what they do in relation to the bombing. So I do know that they do try to be very particular about what they do get involved with and how they portray the disaster that happened. So that would obviously be up to them of how that would happen.
I have to say that it's not something I would see as a good deal. A festival like this, with a memorial festival like the bombing event, I don't know if that would be a good fit for it.
Although I think that I sort of the idea of if we put everything out there, I think that a part of that is a list of potential partners / inventory of things that happen in the community, and then thinking about, asking them if there's anything, I'm with you at, the Fun Festival, the Somber Memorial, but if there are other things throughout the year, like could the, maybe it's not necessarily this festival, but maybe it's, the 100th year coming up in May, maybe 27, right? It's like, do we then think about what this committee could do in sort of support of an event like that, where it may be separate, but it's a strong partnership in the community. I think that gets at some of the things we've talked about also of like, how do we not all just have, this committee and the museum committee and the park, and it's like, how do we work that across those committees to be able to collaborate and support each other and however that ends up looking, but. All right, any other questions? And I know it's very new. And again, we'll start to have more meetings. Obviously, we'll keep you all informed and ask for, if you want to be involved, that you're more than welcome. We'll figure out what that looks like exactly. But as we go forward and get it rolling. So.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Of course.
I guess as the township sponsoring this program or festival, and this doesn't have to be answered now, but I'd like to know and have some planning on what our expectations as far as public works are going to have for the festival.
Yeah, that's a great point. And locations as well for, yeah. All right, anything else? That's it? We're going to get out of here in time for the 7 o'clock meeting that's coming after us. So, any township parks updates?
Sure. I got just a couple small things. West Foster Park's been winterized. Pull all the lines out and painted trees, so that building is closed. Park isn't closed, but there is still the grass is just coming out from where we did our drain improvements there. There is I don't know if this was put up there, all the tree lighting ceremony that's going on December 10th. I believe it's 6 to 8.
recreation updates?
Yes, so we are currently running second and third grade boys and girls basketball registration, partnering with Meridian Township again with that. That is scheduled to run through December 6th. If we do, I did leave enough time that if we do need to extend it, that we are able to do so. But hopefully have the numbers finalized and sent to Meridian before the holidays. And that is supposed to start the week after New Year's, so I believe that's the 6th. As Ben said, the holiday tree lighting ceremony will be on Tuesday, December 10th, 6 to 8. There are indoor activities that happen at the Methodist Church, and then obviously the tree is in James Cousins Park. And then usually there's caroling and things like that. Outside, yeah, we'll have the fire pits there. I'll be purchasing the s'mores stuff for that to make sure that we have enough for that. We're trying to make sure that we have gluten-free options this time as well. So that will be happening. Same week on Thursday is the holiday market. I will have a final count of vendors, hopefully by the end of this week. And then we'll be able to start pushing out more information on that. We'll have the vendors. I do already have Santa for both events scheduled. And then we'll do writing letters to Santa, of course, turkey decorating, all that good stuff.
That's the 14th. Is that what that is?
12.
12. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Any questions about either of those?
A general question on operations. We don't have a forester. I don't know what your skill set is, certification for being a forester is, but I'm wondering how do we keep awareness that our old, or I don't know if we have old growth trees even, but that our trees are being safe from invasive species and mold and mildew. Are we tracking that at all?
As far as like rocks and road parks or anything like that.
That's the one that came to my mind in particular.
Yeah, we haven't had like an arborist or anything come out and take a look at it. We've removed several trees in the last couple of years that have become hazards. So we do keep an eye on that, especially along the roads and cemeteries where people are going to be potentially standing, try to eliminate some of the risk and liability from that. So, other than that, we've never had somebody come out and do a study or anything like that.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, so this is our second public comment time. Limited to 3 minutes, but it can be related to any topic. It should not be construed as a time to initiate discussion with the committee or individual members. Anyone? Oh, I thought you were getting up. You put your hands there. Is that cocoa today at the table, or?
What?
Cocoa instead of ice.
Oh. No, I thought you were going to talk about deer hunting.
All right, report from Board of Trustees at all?
Just the weekend of the Summerfest.
Very good.
Get started.
Yeah.
And,
All right, member comments?
I do really quick. Well, first of all, I should say when you were doing your thing. But we're going to have the card making station?
Yeah, I did forget about that.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Do you want the kids and I to come up again and help with
If
that?
you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. We they look forward to it, so we'll plan on it. And then the other thing I was going to say is, back before we merged with the farmers market committee, we always had the 5-year rec plan on the agenda. I thought it would be good maybe to add that on there again, just so we can touch base on it, see where we are, what were our things that we were hoping to improve in the parks, what were we going to, just kind of go over it, as a, not in depth as much as we did last, that was all our meetings were. But, just touch base on it, just have it there, so it's not like a forgotten thing, so we're looking at it, where are we at, what should we do, what kind of improvements should we make kind of thing. I thought it would be helpful to maybe add that for like an ongoing thing.
Yeah, we can do that. I think, what if we think about, say, in January, having like a deeper dive into it, and then we can sort of plan out throughout the, so sort of start the year off, revisit it as a whole,
Yeah.
and then think about it down, whether that's every meeting, whether that's every other meeting, or whether we take a section per meeting or something like that. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
I would say good meeting, thank you for coming, and I'm looking forward to our new Parks and Rec director.
Oh, that was the other thing.
That's why we have this space, because I forgot to say something up about too, so that's why we have it.
Remember how I talked to you about like the adult basketball thing, like I talked to the schools? Well, I started conversations, but then I was getting in a territory where I was like, I talked to you about it.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, we were wondering, what about, does it always have, like, does it have to be adult basketball, or could it be like adult volleyball?
Could be volleyball.
Because some of the people are getting older and like tournaments and just like there were thoughts about maybe volleyball might be a sport that we could get like we could co-ed, so we could have boys and girls there. It would be easier to get numbers. And I said, I don't know, I would be a problem, but I'll ask.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem, and we can talk more about it too.
Okay, awesome.
I have one more, but does anyone else have anything before that?
No, I think that's everything.
If not, before we adjourn, we can always say something more. I just wanted to remind everyone, both the board or the committee here, and also in the audience, but especially us who are here as representatives of the township, that now that Bath Days is a township activity, on whatever social media you operate on or don't operate on, but if you do operate on it, please be thoughtful that your comments as a committee member of the township related to a program of the township should be, we like to say, minimized. They should be positive, they should be professional, they should not be personal or confrontational.
Bad days.
What's that?
Not called.
Not called bad days, yes. So, but if there's concerns about that, as the kids, well, as the no longer kids, as the old people who started Facebook say, like, just scroll on by. Hey, you need to make sure that you are
Jump
straightening.
at the conversation.
Yeah.
What's up?
Making sure that you're straightening out things out in the comments on the Facebook post.
But I decided somebody should announce it.
Yes, so there will be an announcement coming.
Officially.
Yeah, Taylor and I talked to him,
Yeah.
Sandra talked about that before the meeting, that there will be an official announcement that will go out here. It will be very general. Because we don't know yet, but it'll mostly be like a vote the board approved.
Can we get the cops and firemen involved with it like always were? I hope
Oh,
in the
yeah.
spring.
That's always a good feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
definitely.
great.
Yeah, for the tub, the tub races are definitely, top of the list, and then the washing the vehicles for the losing team. Right, yeah. So, I think that the same thing is, the farmer's market had a tub that we had borrowed from maybe the school that got passed around, but I think that, yes, like individuals, but like having lots of, whether it's the museum committee, the farmer's market, the police, the fire, the Friends of Park Lake tub, right? So, thinking about organization.
Make a bathtub together.
Yeah. So, whether that's serious, just like please, if you feel something here when you're on Facebook, please go to your personal Facebook page or somewhere else and comment about something else. Let's be thoughtful. And, people are going to talk, and that's okay. Like, people are excited already. People are going to say things that they feel like that's great. Let's not be involved in the negative part of that. Sound reasonable?
Is there a new name for it, or is it the summer festival?
No name yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that'll be something that the group decides, and maybe we have to talk through.
Call it Bath Days.
Cool. All right. Nothing else. Can make a motion to adjourn at 6:35. If I can get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you all. And thank you, public, more than we usually have here.